Hello, this is Randy Rolfe from the Institute for Creative Solutions, sharing foundational concepts about vibrant health through natural living. And I wanted to tell you a little bit about why I teach this. I'm coming up on my 73rd birthday, so I know what I teach works, and I've helped many, many people through the years. And I started out as pretty much a normal 60s kid, and went to a really good school, a great college and law school, and other courses later, and got a theology degree. Traveled every summer with my parents. And they went to a different part of the world each year, although their favorite trip was a cruise to Australia. And we went to all the South Pacific Islands on the way. It was absolutely amazing. But I've also been in 29 countries total before I was even 20 years old. So I learned about the world, that people eat all different kinds of things. They have different profiles, different religions, different costumes, different family structures. Some have extended family. Here in the US, we have very nuclear families, and our kids, as soon as they're finished college, they go somewhere else. So it's really, but very interesting that we are so much the same. And the key to health is, of course, having all your basic needs met, being protected from the worst aspects of natural disasters and hot and cold, having good nutrition, having a safe and place to rest and sleep, and being surrounded by people who care about you, because we are social creatures, and being able to get educated and learn how to live in a very complex society that humans have created over the last 2 or 3 million years. And my father was a physician, and he was a specialist in infertility. And he knew that nutrition was really important for the husband and wife to be able to contribute to conception, and also for the mom to be healthy, to be able to nourish the newborn. And then my mom was a sociologist, so she was all about relationships and family and the importance of family. And they were both amateur anthropologists, and that's why we did so much travel. And we always were told to read books, to prepare, to learn about the cultures and history of the countries we were going to. So I had an amazing education, and but we still ate kind of the post to a World War II diet that was based on, convenience and chemicals that made things last longer, sit on the shelf, taste sweeter, saltier, or whatever, preservatives and that kind of thing. But I also had a great uncle who was totally into organic gardening, became very famous for that, and said sustainable living and economic equality demanded going back to healthy food and sustainable agriculture. And my grandfather, who was actually the brother-in-law to Scott and Helen Nearing, he had an organic farm, really just an acre up above where I grew up, in basically my parents' backyard. He would grow organic vegetables. So I had this contrast between the chemical world, better living through chemistry, and agriculture. And my grandfather always peeled the apples, and we're like, why are you peeling the apples? The apples are good. And he said, you have no idea the chemicals they're putting on apples. Well, apples are famous having more chemicals on their peels than any other fruit or vegetable that we grow in the US. And this was back in the early 60s. And he was afraid of the chemicals that were being put on the apples back then. And my father realized that the pesticides that were being put on our vegetables cause infertility. So he said, my profession is going to grow faster than anybody expects because the endocrine disruptors that we're putting on our foods will accumulate in the human body so that there's going to be more infertility, because the way these pesticides kill the pests is by interfering with their reproductive hormones. So he said, you know, it's going to affect humans over the next generations. So at first I thought, oh, well, you know, that's a little too far-fetched. And when I was in college, I pretty much ate like most people. But then when I got married and wanted to cook, I thought, well, I really should figure out how to keep us healthy, because I want to be married 100 years and we're at 51 already. So we're doing well, halfway there. And so I studied nutrition. I read hundreds of books. I have at least 500 books on nutrition in my library. I have 3,000 books in my library. And I discovered there was amazing amount of disinformation, misinformation, a lot of corporate sponsored misinformation, and there was some real information. There were studies done in the 20s and 30s that were being ignored. There's been philosophers all through the ages that have been trying to tell us to eat whole natural foods. Even the Greek physicians in the times of the Romans were saying, would you please eat more vegetables and fruits and stop refining all your grains. And it took slaves to do that in those days. Now we have mechanical factories that just cheaply put out bad food. In Roman times, it was only the wealthy who could afford the bad food. So as time progressed, I started one morning, I just said to my husband, well, I've been telling you all these things. We need to start over. It'd be easier to just start over. So I threw out everything in the fridge and the pantry and bought what I knew would support our health for 120 years. And that's what we've done ever since. We got rid of all the white stuff, white salt, white sugar, clear oils, white flour, the light colored vegetables, and so on. And use whole foods. Now we're not regimented about it. We go out to friends' homes, we go to restaurants, but it's all because we are so healthy that it doesn't hurt us to vary it from time to time, because our basic background diet is good to support us. So we don't take any medications, we don't get colds, we don't get flus. When we hurt ourselves, which happens in 50 years of marriage, gardening and doing lots of stuff, skating and dancing and skiing, we heal really fast. So we know our bodies are working really, really well. So that's why I am so dedicated to sharing with people what it takes to be healthy. It's not that hard, but you have to tick off all the essentials. So you need to have a good breakfast. You need to have 2 or 3 servings of quality protein, whether it's from animals or eggs or beans or almonds. It doesn't matter, but you need to have the good protein to build your enzymes and your blood and so on. You need to have your minerals from real vegetables and fruits, not refined stuff, not overcooked or overprocessed or commercially farmed, where they just put in a whole of nitrogen and phosphorus, but none of the trace minerals that you need in your body, and so on. And I've covered this many times on these sessions, so I won't try to cover it all today. But that's why I'm so passionate about this. And in all my books, I've always included a great deal about the importance of nutrition, sleep, and good quality water. And I actually sell a line of products from a fabulous company called Niken that has products for better sleep, better nutrition, better water, and better air. So anyhow, I'm sitting on one of their seats. This is one of their necklaces. I wear their bracelets so that I'm always relaxed and I don't get a whole lot of negative energy from my being in front of my screen all the time, writing and posting, because I'm in my own micromagnetic environment here. So if you're interested, please email me at randyrolfe@randyrolfe.com, or go to Facebook, Vibrant Health Through Natural Living, where I post all of these presentations. And I haven't posted any in a couple of weeks because I was part of a big summit where we met a whole lot of media of all kinds, TV, podcasts, radio, to try to get more people knowing about what we do and what we teach. So this is a long event, but maybe it'll make up for the couple of weeks I've missed. And I hope to see you soon.